Alright guys, this video is about the best wrestler in the world today. Daniel Bryan. I know some people might have expected CM Punk. No. CM Punk, best entertainer in the world? Easily. Hollywood, music, wrestling, whatever. He is the most entertaining man in the world. He is the most interesting man in the world. The Dos Equis guy doesn't have shit on him, so yeah, but we're getting onto a wrestler who would wrestle circles around him, to be perfectly honest. And Daniel Bryan. This guy's busted his ass. He had a WWE contract back in 2001. Uh, he would have been brought up to the main roster so much earlier. I don't think he would have been the same wrestler, honestly. I think it would have been a huge mistake. And I'm glad that they did the stupid invasion angle and there was too much clutter on the roster to keep them on. It's a blessing in disguise, I think. Now, here's why. That sent Daniel Bryan to Japan, to Ring of Honor, where he made his name, to Mexico, to Germany, England, all these places, all these great places for wrestling. And he mastered all these styles. I mean, you could put Daniel Bryan in there with Rey Mysterio, you'll see the best Lucha Libre match you've seen in 20 years. That's just how good he is at adapting. I wouldn't call him a chameleon, but I would say that if there's any one person you can directly compare to Bret Hart for this modern era, it's Daniel Bryan, hands down. You want a comparison? Bret Hart and Bam and Bigelow have an excellent match, by far the best of Bigelow's career. And people would say, "Oh, that's not believable. I wouldn't believe that." Well, Danielson did the same thing with a guy right around he had about the same size difference, Morishima, and it was the greatest match of Morishima's career, and no one believed like this guy can't beat this guy kind of thing. And then it was, holy shit, maybe he can. It was the exact sort of thing. Daniel Bryan is famous for getting the best match out of people's careers, which Bret Hart did many times. And Daniel Bryan gave The Miz the best match of his career, gave Dolph Ziggler the best series of matches in his career, probably the best matches he'll ever have, outside of another Daniel Bryan match. But like I said, he gave Morishima his best match. He gave Kenta his best match. Yeah, he's better than Kenta. Way better. He got definitely the best wrestler in the world. People could say guys like Tanahashi and Nakamura, they're more famous, arguably, not for long, but they don't touch him in the ring. No fucking way. Daniel Bryan, man, he's the best. He proved he can do, and yeah, like I said, he proved he can do any style. He did a brawling style, great brawling. His strikes are thrown with believability and brute force. His submission wrestling is world class. He could have easily been in Pancrase with his skill level. He's got just a vast array of finishing stuff, and he can, like that. He does the best limb work ever, I would say. Well, he just makes it look brutal. He can snap someone's arm out, and you're like, oh shit, dislocated in the shoulder, that kind of thing. And I just don't think he's getting enough praise. And I did a video about CM Punk. Everyone and their fucking grandmother did a video about CM Punk. And Daniel Bryan deserves attention. What I'm about to say contains many spoilers. Well, sorry, not many, just a couple things. This will contain a Money in the Bank spoiler and a SmackDown spoiler. Everyone knows, I mean, not everyone knows, but okay, if anyone hasn't seen Money in the Bank and wants to, and they don't know anything about it, turn off now. Fair warning. Daniel Bryan won Money in the Bank. It was the best crowd reaction anyone in that match could have got winning. Sheamus could have came close because, I mean, that he's going face. He's too cool he's too cool to be booed. Yeah, Daniel Bryan won, and it was very emotional. Just his immediate reaction was just he kind of losing it, and then he starts crying, and you can tell that it means something to him. And the reason why was he would be explained on SmackDown, which again, spoiler alert. On SmackDown, Michael Cole called out the new Money in the Bank winner, Daniel Bryan, and he said, you know, just like you're a nerd, you're gonna challenge just like everyone else when the guy's down. You're just gonna take advantage of him, whatever. Daniel Bryan said he's not gonna do that, and he's gonna announce when he's challenging. And he says it's gonna be April 1st, Miami, Florida, the main event of WrestleMania 28 for the world title. Daniel Bryan versus whoever may be the champion by then. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Heath Slater. It will be the best match of the night. Guaranteed. Like I said, best wrestler in the world. That's what he does. He could give. I mean, he had a match with Heath Slater on SmackDown after the Money in the Bank thing. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. He said he had a detached retina, which was against Morishima. I thought, like, I know it's a serious possible career-ending injury, but you can recover from it. But apparently he can't see out of his eye, out of his left eye. So, he's not in TLC, but left eye. Yeah, and then he said he's been kicked in the head so many times, he can't hear out of his one ear. I believe it was left. Because it's usually the left side that gets hit, right? Wrestling. Unless you're in Mexico. So it was just really passionate, kind of from the heart shoot, if you will. It doesn't even have to be a shoot. It's just probably stuff he's thought for 12 years. He's busted his ass. He's finally making it. Anyone who says guys like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan are overrated, other wrestlers, yeah, they've been wrestling a long time. But these guys have been busting their ass around the world, wrestling styles that a guy like Wade Barrett would crumble in a month under. Guys, just certain guys couldn't take it. They could not take that style. The leg kicks, the hurricane, thunder strike leg kicks, just the brutal stuff that had the high kicks. I mean, that shit's hardcore. And then the ROH style, just like 300 fucking neck bumps, shit like that. This guy is just, I can't stress how good guys like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are, how they busted their ass harder than any wrestlers, any active wrestlers today. Like guys like Chris Jericho did that. That's how it used to be. These guys, that's why these guys stand head and shoulders above these other guys. They didn't grow up in WWE developmental. They grew up around the world, like Chris Jericho, like Lance Storm, like Bret Hart, like Owen Hart. That's what makes you better. That's what makes you the best in the world, is traveling the world. That's the only way to do it. Daniel Bryan is the best example of this in modern times. I actually think he traveled more than Chris Jericho. He's a better wrestler than Chris Jericho ever was. He's not better on the mic, but he is a better wrestler. So you will give respect to these people. They're not overrated. They are underrated. If people saw the shit they did before, they would lose their fucking minds. They saw Morishima versus Daniel Bryan, they'd be like, holy shit, this is better than Bret versus Austin at Mania 13. Because slightly it was. It was. I classify them both as 5-star matches. It's just the way it goes, man. Daniel Bryan is pound for pound the best wrestler in the world. I mean, unless you count amateur wrestling. He has the best matches. And he can get a good match out of anyone. If Michael Cole was to ever have a good match, it would be against Daniel Bryan. That's how good he is. Alright, so this has been my video about Daniel Bryan and a little bit about CM Punk. Punk's not dead. He'll be back. You guys support Daniel Bryan. The crowd's getting behind him, so inevitably you will too. There'll be a few holdouts. There's always someone who wants to rebel against this. Oh, it's cool. Like, guess what? We are wrestling fans. We like wrestlers. We like people who talk real. We don't like people who act like the one-man rock band. We don't like white Barrett doing his stupid little hand gestures and having his fucking 2-star matches all the time. Don't give a fuck about that. We care about Christian and Randy Orton, yes. And we care about CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, we care about Dolph Ziggler. We care about wrestling. We don't give a damn about shit. There's places for your Mark Henrys. I mean, I kind of like the guy. He hurts people, but I like him. There's places for the Big Show. But the marquee needs to be guys like CM Punk, guys like Daniel Bryan, guys like John Cena, because John Cena gets a lot of heat. John Cena's a great fucking wrestler. You don't like his style, so what? He proved he can do wrist locks, arm drags, chain wrestling. Put Daniel Bryan and John Cena in the ring, you might see the best wrestling match you've seen in WWE in 20 years. Cena has the ability. It's just when you're carrying matches all the time, and you got guys like Miz. I mean, Miz is a great wrestler, but he needs to be carried. You can't have Cena carrying a guy who needs to be carried. If Cena's facing a guy who can handle himself, Cena can carry the match and have a great match. I don't know how this got into John Cena, but hey, I'll get a higher view count because John Cena's in the topic. All right, so yeah, that's right. If you want to recap, Daniel Bryan, best wrestler in the world. CM Punk, best entertainer in the world. John Cena, great, very good. Yeah, he's not gonna win Technical Wrestler of the Year, but he sure as hell might win Best Wrestler of the Year a lot. He's a big draw. Kids like him, which is a turnoff because most kids are fucking annoying. Let's face it. So yeah, this has been my video. This video's had so many false endings. You think Vince Russo was booking it? I'm just kidding with you. Alright, this is it. Good night, good day, good luck, good everything else. I'm out. Daniel Bryan, bitch.